Welcome to another episode of the Las Vegas Poker Coach. Want to know how you can support this podcast and get exclusive content? Please visit patreon.com/LV Poker Coach. Hey, it's the Las Vegas Poker Coach. Here's my poker report for the night of Friday, September 22nd. I think today's session was a little bit rough, but if I were to put a word on it, I would say perseverance is a good word. Very much a roller coaster session. Sometimes sessions are like that. The path to success is not always a straight line. Unfortunately, I had a terrible hand where I had my aces cracked by pocket kings. So pocket aces versus pocket kings, we got it in pre-flop, just like I wanted. Unfortunately, he spiked the king on the flop, and that was all she wrote. So that was a little bit of a bad beat. So the fact that I could go through that hand and still post a profit for last night makes me happy. It's not always the case where you can say that you had aces cracked and you still posted a profit. So in that scenario, I'm okay with it. It was just a very rough session, just kind of up and down. Really just the kind of session where you have to keep your wits about you, keep your mental state focused, and that's not always easy when you're going through those low points. I played a full 6 hours yesterday, which is also good. If I'm focusing on good goals, I always have a goal of walking in there and playing for 6 hours. I don't always reach that goal, but yesterday I was successful in doing that, so I'm happy about that. Otherwise, it was just one of those sessions where you have to stay in the game. 6 hours of your mental focus is kind of tiring, but you have to do it. I mean, that's part of being a professional. That's part of being out there trying to earn a living. You have to be focused in your day job at your desk with your computers or whatnot. I have to do the same thing. I just happen to do it in the middle of a busy casino. So I had a positive session yesterday, which is good. It kind of takes the edge off my Thursday night session. So we'll see where we end up after this weekend. Still plenty of hours ahead of us, so I'm still optimistic that this weekend will be a net positive weekend. But yeah, so the Friday night, a little bit more roller coaster. The plan for today is Saturday. I'll be playing mostly during the day. I do that because there's a lot of college football on, which means that there's a lot of people in the casino. A lot of people make their way to the poker room. Saturdays also tend to be a little bit more of a day where you experience less variance. I have yet to have a Saturday where you have high variance. The Saturday games tend to be a little bit low variance. People are a little bit of a mellow mood. So the goal for today, 6 hours on a Saturday, trying to build off yesterday's win, and we'll see where we end up. Hi, this is my poker report for Saturday, September 23rd. Just got home from the casino not too long ago. Had a very successful day today, a very profitable day. The positive parts of today were that I did post a profit. I also played a full 6 hours. I felt pretty fully engaged while I was playing. Obviously, in 6 hours, the lineup is going to change quite a bit. So that was a little bit challenging sometimes. As different lineups come in, different stack sizes come in, it kind of forces you to pay attention and find out who's playing what size stack, things along those lines. But I think I did okay with paying attention, staying engaged. I basically played 6 hours straight through, no breaks whatsoever. So that can be challenging, but it's getting easier and easier as I do it more and more. I do feel like I made a couple of mistakes though today. Well, one that comes to mind is I did catch myself playing smaller one gap suited connectors from the small blind. Um, that this particular hand I have in mind, it was three limpers to the cutoff. The cutoff raised, made a 5x raise back to me in the small blind with a small one gap suited connector, and I made the call there. That was a terrible call on my part. Definitely unlikely to be a positive EV situation there, especially with action to come still. So, kind of caught myself doing that, and I folded the hand as soon as I could to flop action. But I just kind of had a lapse of boredom, a little bit, maybe a lapse of discipline there. But there's really no excuse to be playing those types of hands from the small blind. So little mistakes there. Today was not a perfect day, but being aware of the mistakes is the first steps to correcting them. So I'm okay with that. But overall, a positive day. Full work day today, 6 hours. I'm home. I'm a little tired. Being focused and engaged in the game for 6 hours isn't always easy. So I'm just kind of recovering a little bit at home. Plan is to play again tomorrow. Um, at this point, I am basically even for my work week. I took a loss on Thursday night. I won on Friday night. I won today. So tomorrow is my opportunity to post a profit for the week, and I'm sure I will do that. Sunday tends to be very similar to Saturdays, as I said. Saturdays and Sundays are very low variance games. People really aren't there for poker per se. They're there to cheer on their team in college or NFL. So tomorrow my intent is to be at the casino in time for kickoff or shortly after kickoff of the 10 a.m. games. That's 10 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll be back to playing tomorrow. Aim for another 6 hours and see where we end up. Overall, I'm happy with the way I'm playing this week, and I'm just gonna keep on staying focused, keep on staying engaged, making the best decisions I can, and go from there. So I'll give another report on Sunday. But as I said, for now, I'm even on the week, and we're plenty of hours left ahead of us. Plenty of hours that are going to give us good decisions and hopefully post a profit. Hey guys, this is my poker report for Sunday, September 24th. I just got home from the strip not too long ago. Today went exactly like I wanted it to. As I mentioned before, I've basically been break even this weekend after taking a rough loss on Thursday night. So today was really all about making a profit and posting a profit for the week. And I managed to do that. I actually had a really nice session today. I played about 5 hours. I managed to get up early. I took a bad beat with suited ace king about midway through the session. Fortunately, I was able to weather that beat because I basically just paid the guy off with my profits. So so there's a little bit of variance in that regard, but that variance is a lot easier to handle when you're paying off somebody with your profits as opposed to having to rebuy. So after that, I had a huge three-way all-in pot where I actually made a steel wheel. So when you're that way, when you have that strong of a hand three ways, obviously that's going to be a good day. So that helped. A couple other hands along the way, and a couple of nut flushes along the way that helped. But yeah, so today went really just as I expected. So the whole week really is just an example of how sometimes you just have to grind away the hours. you know, players that aren't as good as you, they're gonna have their moments where they are gonna win. They are gonna, take some profit sometimes from you. I believe it was Friday night where I took the beat where I had my aces cracked by kings. So that's gonna happen. But given a long enough time frame, given a lot more hands, if you're a skilled player, you're gonna come out okay in the end. And if you note from my previous reports from this particular week, and that's basically what I was saying. Just you know, as of as of Friday night, I was still down overall, but I knew that I had at least another 12 hours ahead of me of poker. So yeah, I may be down a few bucks, but if I know that I have more hours out there, and which means more hands and more opportunities to create reciprocation and beat players, I'm gonna be okay. And that's basically what happened. So Thursday night took a healthy loss. Friday night made a little bit of it back. Saturday made a lot of it back, which put me into a break even going into today's session, and today was great. Today I actually managed to cash out for a little bit more than a buy-in and a half to the positive side. So I'm happy with that result. I'm generally happy with the way I played. Um, like I said yesterday, I did misplay one hand out of position. Just a total lapse of discipline on my part. But I can't think of anything that I did that with today. Um, I did a lot of bet folding today. Sometimes you have to do that. When you're bet folding those suited connectors and somebody raises you, just take the sign for what it is and move on to the next hand. So I was pretty disciplined with that today. Um, but otherwise, I'm happy with my play. I stayed focused. I had a pretty good table, pretty good lineups throughout. Our room was doing great business, and we're on to next week. Thanks for listening to another episode. My Patreon supporters have access to my poker text group, where I answer their poker questions in real time. You can find it at patreon.com/LV Poker Coach.